A warm welcome back to Stone Valley for episode 6 with me, MrSealyp. Here's where we stand at the moment. It's just gone 6 o'clock in the evening here on Stone Valley. As you've already seen, I've been picking up contracts, which I'm going to keep doing. I've already said that. That's going to be, that's what keeps us ticking over, gives us the money to move forward until our fields are ready to do what our own harvest and our own jobs, and then we can start moving forward. It's always this initial bit where you're trying to build things up and trying to get enough money to buy machinery and do things that takes a bit of time. Then you'll hit that snowball moment where it starts to pick up speed. I've just taken on a contract. We've taken on this contract. So having fertilised field 29, that's what I said. Do the cultivating job, pick up the fertilising job, and then the sowing job's just followed. So I've just finished doing field 30 fertilising. Field 29's now come up with a sowing contract. Now I'm going to do that with our own cedar planter. So to use their own would have taken a hit of £7,000. So I thought if we use our own, even whatever seed we have to buy, it's not going to come to £7,000. I've been informed that here at the main farm, Jarrett's farm, that we can get fairly cheap seed. I haven't tried yet, but apparently right here, 2,200 litres for 1,583. That's a pretty good price. Happy with that. So cover back on. I've also grabbed the drawbar again. Thank you to everyone who commented regarding the drawbar, because I was having problems with the planter cedar, and it was skating all over the place. And apparently it was because I had the drawbar thing that comes with it, kind of the attachment. So I took that off and got the trailer one, and a few people said, look, just get the drawbar mod. That should work. So we'll give that a go. That should help us. I need to raise that up. So that should help us with our turning circle, because we've reduced our turning circle, and we shouldn't have the issue with it skating all over the place. This contract requires sunflower, doesn't it? So I'm on sunflower, and we are good to go. So let's turn it on, drop it down. No, not that one. I need to go on to that, drop that down, and let's get going. Now, I did mention on one of the recent mod reviews, and I showed this cedar. Look how fair I'm looking. Oh, what is happening? Why are we going so fast? Is that because of the drawbar? Has the drawbar confused the cedar? We don't normally see the 16, do we? That's going to nudge up as well as we go downhill. That's an unexpected surprise, and I'm happy with that, because that means we'll get this contract done way quicker. I tell you, that's going so fast. That's incredible. Okay, glitch in the matrix, but we'll take it. Oh, that's a good place to leave that. Let's turn that off a second. Yeah, I mentioned about there's that fertilizer tank, and I showed it on the mod review with it, and I said you can hook up to the back of this cedar. A few people messaged me to say there's absolutely no point because that cedar doesn't fertilise. It does, because this is the modded one. The standard one, I'll show you what I mean. If we go into our cedar options, sorry, they're under planters, aren't they? The YP2425, which is the standard one there, the YP2425A, does all sorts of crops and stuff, which is fantastic. It's not a direct drill. It's 18.2 metres wide, and that only seeds. The reason I went for this one, it's slightly smaller at 12 metres, requires a little bit less horsepower, does all the crop types, but that seeds and fertilises if I want to. Now generally I don't seed and fertilise at the same time. I just don't bother normally, because I kind of have a system I go through. I could seed and fertilise at the same time. That particular one has a bar on the back. That one, if we swing round, have a look on the back, look, it's got steps on it, so you can't attach anything onto the back of it, whereas this one, as you can see from the one I've got in the field, has a trailer hitch, so you can run a tank behind it, a trailed tank with liquid fertiliser in it to extend your fertiliser range if you want to go down that route. So I just thought it was worth pointing that out. So what we'll do now is now I'm interested to see this continues, and if so, will it continue with me hiring a worker? Is that because I've raised the drawbar up? Is that what it is? I'm puzzled as to why this has happened. So it's not a bad thing. I'm over the moon if it means we can go that sort of speed, but let's drop it down and try again. Cruise control on. 14, 15. Downhill's going to be interesting. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What is happening? That's madness. 24. I'm doing nothing. I've employed no cheat, no tactic. I haven't done 20. What is going on? 24 miles an hour. That is simply because I put that drawbar on. What about if I hire a worker? No. Isn't that weird? As soon as I hire a worker, it goes back to what it should be running at, which is that I'm now stuck in that dilemma. Because if I want to go and get on with other things, or potentially do some housework and leave a worker to chug away on this, I can't. I can either leave it chugging away at 9, or I do it myself and potentially run at 20 miles an hour, which would half the time I do it, but means I've got to stay sat here while it does it. How bizarre is that? Now, if anyone's not sure, this one here, I can't remember who the model was. But that drawbar there, in essence, that's the only thing I can think is what's causing this to do it. That's in tools under miscellaneous once you've got it installed, and it's the 3-point hitch drawbar. If I remember when I come to edit this, I'll put it on to say who it is. But anyway, I'm going to carry on. I've got to get all this done. I'll probably see you in the morning now. Depends how many more contracts we've got. Hopefully our crops will be ready. Maybe our grass field will be ready because I need to do silage bales. So we'll have a go at running out our silage system. And we need to buy a mower to do that because we don't have one. I'm probably going to do a bit of maintenance and get some fuel for this tractor as well at some point. So yeah, very odd, unexpected, but pleasant. I'm quite, I'm happy with that. Let's drop that back down a little about there. Get ourselves kind of lined up. Cruise control on. Yeah, how weird. Okay. Funny thing is, I wasn't even going to record this bit. I was just going to do the contract. Actually, that's the thing I want to check. Let's just drive across the field here. It's not my field. The problems I had before with picking up speed like this was every time I turned the wheel, the whole thing just slid. Nope, I'm not experiencing that whatsoever now. So just taking off the main seeder and adding a drawbar on, as I'm now not having that seeder skid around all over the place. So that's good news. Seeding wizardry. I do have the beard. Maybe I'm a farming wizard, who knows? Help me. Please help me. I've got to stop. There has to be some cure. It's now 2:34 in the morning in game. I started, and the last bit you saw, I'd already done 3 contracts and it was 6 PM. So I've been doing this for 8 hours because I play real time. Yeah. I'm going to have a little bit of a sleep, and then we'll get up and we'll try and do some work on our own farm. That way it will keep me out of mischief. I'll need another fix again soon though, because I can't help myself. Okay, it's 6:43 in the morning. Yeah, let's have it just... oh no, I shouldn't be doing this, should I? No. Oh, there's loads more sewing jobs available. No, stop. I've got work to do. Right, my own field 17 with soybean in, isn't ready to harvest yet, but my grass field is. Here's what also happened overnight. A few things have changed, kind of. It's always bad when you come out of the darkness into the early morning to see the destruction and devastation and things that have happened overnight. Now, to aid in cultivating contracts, I had that cultivator, and then this one became available at the store, which you may have seen. This is the 110 crumbler. This is 10 meters. This is 10 meters. This one, the 490, requires 180 horsepower to pull. That requires 30. That runs at 12 miles an hour. That runs at 10. So I'm potentially thinking maybe I might replace that with another one of those. So I bought that overnight. So that was to help out. That needs to be done. The case needs a bit of work and it needs to be washed. We've got some new machinery to buy. As you can tell by our finances, all the jobs I did overnight, whilst it took 8 hours, and it took 8 hours, real time. That's why I didn't post. I mean, there's been all the SnowRunner stuff, the update and stuff came out the other day, and I did a few SnowRunner videos. And my intention was to post a Let's Play video on this yesterday. It took me 8 hours of gameplay through the night to build my money up. So yeah, I mean that's why I just did not get to it. It was, you know how it is. Now I'm thinking of buying another front tank because I've got one that I use for fertilising and one that I've been using for sowing contracts, which has been working out really, really well. Well, I have got one that I use for both, but I want to get one for each. I'm not making myself very clear. Yeah, that one at the moment does both. So I'm using that for fertilising, and then I'm using it for sowing. But if I've got any fertiliser left in it, I have to empty it out, put it into something else. So it's much easier if I just get a second one of those. I can have one rig, one set up for fertilising, then another rig for doing our sowing, which will work absolutely perfectly. Now, what I also did overnight was I bought a small trailer, just a little tow along. I think it was like the Krona tippers, because the seeder planter has got a trailer hitch on the back. I thought if I take my own seed with me in the trailer, then I can fill up as I go. The seeder wouldn't take it directly from the trailer, unfortunately. What I really need is a trailer on the back, a flatbed trailer with seed pallets on it. I put loose seed in and it didn't work. So I tipped the loose seed into the silo. A few of the extra odds and ends of fertiliser that I've had when I've swapped between fertiliser and sowing are also in the silo. So at the moment, I think, where are we? In our silo, we've got seed and fertiliser. Oh, does it show it on here? Doesn't, does it? No. Well, yeah, we've got seed and fertiliser in there should we need some more. We have spent a fair bit out on fertiliser, doing the various different contracts. The one that caught me out most of all was the field 11 sowing because I started the contract and we've only got a 12 metre, so we were going up and down, up and down, up and down. Got to this last strip here and it said 86% complete, and I could not work out, bearing in mind I was in hour 7.5 of doing all my contracts at that point. I couldn't work out how I'd nearly finished but the contract hadn't. Now I had a previous problem earlier on, and be warned on this. When I was doing field 29 sowing, as you saw me start sowing, I got part way through and the seed tank ran out on the back. No. Oh yeah, seed tank ran out on the back of the seeder. It switched over to the front tank, but the seeder stopped. So I then got back in it. Okay, what I need to do is off I go. In changing it over, I swapped seed type. So I went a few more strips and couldn't work out why, if anything, my percentage of contract complete was dropping, not going up. Realised that rather than putting in whatever I was supposed to be putting into that one, what was in that? Sunflower. I think I was putting canola or something, I don't know. So I had to go back over what I'd just done to reseed, and so anyway, by the time I got to there, couldn't figure it out, and then realised that I had all this bit to do, which I'd forgotten about. So far from being finished, I still had a load left to do. So yeah, it was a weird one. Which brings me on to the next of the things, and what I could go down the route of saying, let's go ultra realistic here, and we've had some crop fail, and unfortunately it happens sometimes. And what happened was, I was travelling in the dark between locations, got sidetracked, got distracted, and drove into my crop. And if you look across the field there, can you see the far side of the field? I'll zoom in now. I did the same over there with the lorry. I was transporting seed across the map from one location to another and drove across my own field. And once I realised I'd turn round rather than back out, I drove round in a loop. So I've got a couple of bits on my field which what are you going to do? Anyway, today, actually this is why I was going this way in the first place. We got up to the store, we're going to go and buy a mower, because we are going to be silage baling today off of our grass field. We do need to do, when that regrows again, we're going to do hay. Now, something that needs to be mentioned. If I want to go down a narrative route on this, the government are coming in and they're going to lock down the whole area, and when we come back to the area it's all going to have changed a bit. If I don't go down a narrative, I was sent a message the other day, yesterday, by somebody saying that Lancy Boy has got this map back in testing with his testers, not with giants, because it needs an update. And the person testing it posted to say it will need a new save game. Now I don't know how much truth there is in that, but if it does, I might cry. I mean, to be fair, I haven't changed too much, but yeah, if you're a long way into this and it does need a new save game, I honestly don't know what to say. It's not good, but we'll see. So, let's get some gear. I want a front mower. So I'm going to go with... I was going to go with the widest I could, but I think I'm going to go with... Looking long term at getting a triple mower set up. But I want a triple mower set up that swaths. I might go with the Vicon, At least, yeah, when I did the alfalfa. It's a 3.2 metre. Well, I'm going to buy that. We'll get the Vicon version. What we're also going to do, in advance of us getting, or our harvest being ready, we're going to get a new trailer. Now I currently have the rear section of that, the Pace Setter A train. I've got the pup bit on the back. Initially, to set everything up, I bought the whole thing and then sold back the front section, so I just kept the back pup section. I was considering buying the front section, but combined that'll give me 55,000 litre capacity. What I'm going to do is go with the semi-tipper 70,006, which has got a trailer hitch on the back, which means I could potentially add the pup that I've got onto the back of that if I need to, but it also gives me the option to have the pup separate if I'm doing smaller jobs and things like that. So we're going to go with one of these. As far as colour goes, I did think about going red to keep it with like the Case Farm sort of vibe. I could go with the MrSealyp green I've been using of late, which is the Fent Nature green, which I think I might have. Did I go with that on Washoe? I think I did, didn't I? So I'm thinking maybe the Case. Should we just go Case red? Yeah, I think so. Rim colour. I like to go for the black. Just prefer that personally. Design colour is the tarp. Should we leave that as it is? Black tarp. Oh no, it's not. It's the chassis, isn't it? My mistake. We'll go with. I think we'll go with Onyx on that as well. We can't change the tarp then, or can we? Do I want oversized loads? No, leave it standard. Wheel brand. We'll go with Trelleborg, and we'll go with wides. No, we'll leave them standards. We'll leave them standards. Right, let's buy that. And then the next purchase we're going to go for is going to be, I'm getting a telehandler, because I liked using Bobby's. It was really nice. Actually, I'm not going to buy the telehandler now, because I was going to have a look at various different brands available. I might not go for a standard brand. I've got a few in here. Yeah, I'll have a think about that. We might go for something slightly different. Or we could go with a wheel loader, couldn't we? Haven't used a wheel loader since Sussex Farms. But there's not a Case wheel loader, is there? No. Go with the New Holland W190D maybe. I don't know. I'm waffling again, sorry. Right, so let's get the mower back. Let's get on with our mowing, baling, wrapping. Now, I kind of mentioned this when I did the alfalfa. Because there is the new fast bale, the Vicon fast bale, and you can run various different setups with the fast bale on the back, especially if you're doing round bales, which will allow you to mow, bale, wrap and drop off the back. Some people have been doing all sorts of ingenious setups with various different frames and setups, so they can run a trailer next to it. It's incredible. So an auto load trailer next to it, so as the bale unloads, it automatically, off the wrapper, it automatically loads onto the bale trailer, which is incredible. But in all honesty, I was talking to CLG about this yesterday, and we're discussing, because today is Friday, she finishes school today for summer holidays. When we're going to start the Let's Play, whether it's going to be over the weekend or whether it'll be Monday, I'm not too sure. But this co-op Let's Play we're talking about, and like I said, we might not do Sandy Bay now. We're looking at other options. We're also looking at all our various different options of how we're going to set it up, what we're going to run, seasons. I want to run seasons. I think she does too. But we've been watching, or I've been watching Tom Pemberton. I mentioned that the other day. Or was it earlier in this video? There's something really nice and calming and relaxing about the simple. There's a simple elegance to doing things. Old school's the wrong way of putting it. I think I've mentioned this before. We get into the habit, and I'm the same, of going as big as you can, as quick as you can, and making life much quicker and easier. And I was watching them yesterday, and they were using a hay bob. Oh, mind blown! In game, I've always used the hay bob for kind of a windrower type thing. I used it when I was making hay off the back of the Krona Big M. Where did I put my mowers? They're in this barn here, weren't they? And I used it to just kind of tidy up behind. What blew my mind was they were actually... Where did I put them? Oh, in the other barn. They were using their little hay bob, like we've got in game, for their straw swaths rather than hay. So where the straw had been swathed out the back of the harvester, and then it had rained a couple of days and stuff, and the straw was kind of flattened down and it was a little bit damp, They went along with the hay bob, so that's still all attached yet. They went along with the hay bob, and it kind of fluffed all the straw piles up, the swaths up, and allowed the air to circulate through them a bit better. So not just for making hay, but for plumping them up, and it made much neater, tighter rows for the baler to come along. And I'd never seen that done before. Now I know in game it serves no purpose. Going along and using a hay bob over a straw swath isn't going to make any difference to baling in game. I know that. And a few different jobs they were getting, they were filling up their Keenan feed mixer, and they were using one of the silage cutters. Now, I don't usually bother with the silage cutters because they're quite small, and you know, it's like, well, I can use the bucket and do far more, far quicker. But I really kind of enjoyed seeing it being done properly is the wrong word, because you know, every farm's different. We've had this conversation before. So I don't know what route we're going to go down. On this farm, like I said, it's a big American map, big American farm. We're going to go big machinery. I need to get to that point, and doing what we've been doing contract-wise will get us a long way there. This setup will allow me to do the same sort of thing as the fast bale, but it's not automatic, obviously. But I can mow, I can bale, and I can wrap all in one pass. So it's a one-pass system, but it's way cheaper than running the fast bale setup, because the fast bale's like 110 grand on its own, I think. So what we'll do now, and this should work. Like I say, we're waiting on our field. Once our field's ready to harvest, we'll get cracking on that. I'm at a point actually financially where we could, just thinking, let's drop that down. We could sell our harvesters, but we've only just got them really. Didn't use them very much. Right, let's go back to that. Let's see how we get on. Again, I'm aiming for 50, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on bales created this session. Whether we'll get 50 bales off this, I don't know. If we don't, doesn't matter. We're going to store them in the shed, because I want to go down the bale route. We may well do at some point silage in the biogas plant, but I am, like I said before, I'm thinking of going down the potato route, you know, doing a big old harvest of potatoes. Now I'm not too bothered, I'm really not too worried about whether I run my rows right next to each other on this, because we're going to be doing the whole thing anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So what should happen now is we hit that point there, I unload, close it. So what I should have done is unfold the wrapper, and that would have been a good idea. As we move forward, that goes like that, and we carry on. And like I say, when this unloads, it's going to pop into the side, so potentially I'm going to go over. Oh yeah, I'm going to go over grass I've already cut, aren't I? Unless what I do now is swing around. Which side does it put it off to? I think it's to the left, isn't it? So I now go down this strip. And then we unload our bale off the back. That should put it on the bit I've just cut. Like so, and we're not in the way. Fantastic, right. First bale done. And away we go. Like I say, the fast bale would be... I've got enough money I could have bought the fast bale. And I may well get to a point, if I decide to do more bales, I might even get one. You know what, I'm now thinking, should I just buy it? Should I just sell back the bits I've got? Because I've got the money, why not just get it and make my life a lot easier? You know what? I'm going to Let's allow that to wrap. What I'm going to do is drop that off. Why not? Might as well treat myself. But anyway, you saw me do alfalfa with this one. Let's fold that back up. And it works. You know, it works really well. And there's a setup like that. If you're going to mow, bale, wrap, and you want to do it all in one pass. Now, is it the quickest way of doing it? The swings and roundabouts, I'll be honest, because I could get a triple mower set up. I could, if money was no object, get myself a massive Krona Big M, go across the field, mow and swath at the same time, because there are various different mower setups now that will swath too. If I don't want to swath and want to go more kind of, again, not old school, but you know what I mean, we could mow, and then we could windrow, and then we could come round and we could bale and wrap. When you go around doing it like that, it takes almost as much time as just running a setup like this. You know, yes, we're only doing one strip at a time, but because we're not having to go over the field multiple times, we're doing it in one pass, it does save a lot of time. So, you know, but you know what? Let's fast bale it. Now again, there could be an argument that I'm progressing too quickly, that I'm rushing things, that, you know, I've barely used this setup and I'm already moving on to the next thing. And like I said, in all honesty, yesterday putting 8 hours into doing all the contracting to get the money to where I am now. Now I could have just gone, oh, you know what, I'll just cheat in 600,000 and make up some storyline that I inherited it. And I didn't. I put 8 hours in. Now that could have been 8 separate episodes, because I could have done an hour-long episode and I could have just said, look, here are 8 episodes of me doing contract work. But again, there's that situation that a lot of the contract work, especially fertilising jobs, and even with the sowing, once I'd done 2 sowing jobs, when I got into the 3rd and the 4th, it was the same thing. I was using the same equipment, going up and down the field, and I was sowing. There's only so much of that I can watch, let alone know. That's always been my rule of thumb with making videos, is I make a video of something I would myself want to watch, that I would be happy to watch. And when you yourself are thinking, wow, this is getting a bit monotonous, you know full well no one's going to want to watch that. I totally understand that. So, has it progressed quickly? No, not really. You know, and for you it will seem like it has because of the time between episodes. For me, because the time I'm taking between episodes to get these jobs done, not at all. So, let's see what we get for these. This will go towards the setup, so that we can sell for 50 grand. That's the result. That we can sell for 7, so 57 grand. So that setup was 57 grand. Now if we go into the tablet, we'll have a look in here and look at the setup we're going to go for. Oh, there it is. 110. So we're actually, you know what? We're only 50 grand shy. So for another 50 grand, so I'm not spending another 110. But you can see already, it was 50 grand cheaper running the other setup to running that. Foil colour, we'll keep it as white. We're going to keep it as Vicon, Trelleborg, Michelin. You know what? I might go Michelins. I don't very often, but they look like they'll be a little bit easier on the ground, maybe. I don't know. Let's go with that. It's all very exciting. I'm trying to think, other than doing the mod reviews, did I use it? Oh yes, I did, didn't I? I used it in Greenwich Valley. Of course I did. When I was doing all my bales for doing the pellet making. That went well. Pellet prices are still well and truly nerfed. I mean, absolutely. I honestly don't know what happened in the last update, but it was not good. So, once we've done a few rows of this, I'm not going to make you watch me bale an entire field, but what I am going to do, we're going to get our telehandler, and I'm going to manually load a trailer rather than auto load this time. I've decided, again, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, I will do it off camera, but I'll show you a little bit of it. And I know putting the bales into the shelter there wasn't everyone's cup of tea. I enjoyed doing it. I found it very therapeutic. It's the day to day, and again, I think you can't please everyone, and what a lot of people may find interesting or relaxing or whatever it might be, a lot of people think, well, I don't want to sit and watch that. That's absolutely fine, of course it is. That's no different to any video. I mean, there's plenty of the regular YouTubers that I watch on various different channels doing various different things that I'll watch an episode and think, actually, you know what, I'm going to skip forward a little bit on this, because there's a couple of my real favourite YouTubers, bushcraft guys, where the channels have changed a bit from where they started and what they were doing, and there have been episodes where I've watched and thought, wow, this is honestly, it's a little bit boring, I'm going to skip this bit. And I don't blame anybody for doing that, and don't expect, if you are finding something I'm doing boring, you can skip. I'm not saying you have to watch every single part of it. And the same goes with adverts, but I've had a lot of people message me about adverts. They should all be skippable. You can watch them, and if you watch a bit of them, or if they come up at all, it helps my channel out, of course it does. But if you don't want to watch them, skip them. I had someone say there were 6 or 7 non-skippable ads in my video. There shouldn't be. I don't know why there would be, because there really shouldn't be. Right. This is going to make life a lot easier, isn't it? And a lot faster. Oh no, I had the light pink before, didn't I? Light pink, the light green. Doesn't matter, we can swap that out. So, let's crack on. Does mean now I can back the cruise control on. You don't have to worry, this will just get on with it. I'm not going to turn it on and off at the ends of rows, I'm just going to keep going and spinning around. Like I say, I don't have to worry too much now because this comes directly out the back. I'll just turn and I'll just take the turn of the tractor. Once it's done, it will unload, and then I can... It seems to be taking a lot longer on each strip to get grass out than the other one did. That's weird. Why are they doing that? So, pre-bale unloads into the back and then carries on. That one carries on. And we'll drop off when it's done. Job done. Now I'll be honest, with the way I want to collect bales manually, putting them out the back the way this one does, I prefer to the way the other one does. I like the fact that the way the other one does, it leaves them... oh, hang on a minute. I've just realised what I've done. There is an option for this, isn't there? For the baler, so they don't roll anywhere. But actually, you know what? I don't want that at the moment. Hey, was that in the settings, or have I just not enabled it? No, automatic drop off. I missed it, didn't I? Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, so the bales can it can tip them on the side. Am I imagining that? Am I thinking of something else? I'll have to check it now. Oh, did I accidentally press something there? I did, didn't I? I must have hired a worker by accident. Right. So as you can imagine, this is going to take a little while. We'll see how many we end up with. Then I'll get them off the field. Whether I'll get them off the field in this episode, I'm not too sure. But what we will do then is get back over here and get another fertilising state, because what this will do, this will take us back down to 1 fertilising state. If I come back over and fertilise again, we'll get back up, so we get maximum yield every time we do this. The next cut on this will be hay. So we'll do a hay cut on this. So I'm thinking if we do any loose silage, we might do it in a different way. We might do a corn harvest, we might do a multi-crop. I'm not too sure, I haven't really decided yet. Well, I thought we owned all this land, so I'm wondering why that wasn't mowing. It is now. Just to prove me wrong. I've missed a load of it, great. So I'll see you in a little while, as I oft do. We should have a load of bales. See you later. Okay, so Carl is mowing and wrapping, baling for me, and I've just done a fertilising contract on field 24, which I'm now going to take collection and payment for, and you know what? Voices in my head keep telling me to do it. At the end of the day, while I'm doing one job myself, or I've got a worker doing it, if the contracts are there, I might as well pick them up at the end of the day. Once my harvest is ready to go, it's going to be all hands on deck, and I'm going to be running 2 harvesters and hauling, and you know, I won't be able to split my time. I won't have a spare tractor. I just thought while I'm doing the baling and silage wrapping, I've got this tractor sitting doing nothing, and there are fertilising contracts available. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to head out to field 12, which is up the northwest corner. So we just went southwest, we're going to go northwest. A lot of these fields I sowed and planted and fertilised, and pretty much all of them actually. So yeah, it's all good. Still love this tractor. I think it sounds brilliant. Not sure how Carl's finished his task when there's an entire field of grass. Right, I'll be back over there to check that in a second. Some time has passed. Sean is over in field 34 doing a fertilising contract. Our field is now ready to harvest, so that's going to be in the next episode. We need to make an absolute load of money, because we need to be looking at our next evolution moving forward. Now, what have I got behind me here? I've got the Lizard 5RB. Now, I recall when this came out, it not working very well, but I'm going to give it another try, simply because collecting these barrels up to manually load them while they're scattered around the field like this isn't ideal. So I thought if I could use this to pick them up, or at least put them into rows of 3s or 5s or whatever I decide to do them in. Depends if we go for a telehandler or a wheel loader. Telehandler I want them in 3s, wheel loader I can get away with 5s maybe. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to do that. Then when we come to actually load up a trailer, it's going to be far, far easier. Now this could be an absolute car crash. It's, you know, like I say, I'm pretty sure when I did the review of this originally, it didn't work particularly well. But looking through what's available at the store, it's about the best fit for what I want to do. Then we've got 51 bales, we went 1 over, but again that's not too much of a problem. What I am going to do is just drop this off straight away, get cracking on with this, and then we'll take all the equipment back and we'll sort out. I do still have some field left, which could be mowed, could be put into the bunker silo, could be turned to hay. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm really hoping this works, because I recall the wheels and stuff bouncing up and it being a bit of a nightmare last time. But so if we unfold it like that, brings it right the way out, and what should happen is we lower it down, and when we come up on the bales, please work. bale runs through to the back like so, which means that when we go to the next one, so I think I'm going to do these in 5s. I'm erring on maybe going for a wheel loader rather than a telehandler. That could come back to bite me. Now this is where we got a problem. This is what I did last time. Didn't line up straight with the bale. First one was perfect. This one now won't go in. Oh, why does it do this? And now it's dragging the whole thing at a horrible angle. Right, let's raise that up. Get the bale in there. Like I say, I thought it could go horribly wrong, or it could work perfectly. At the moment, I'm erring on horribly wrong, but if I can line it up first and then drop it down, maybe will that work? It's probably just, let's say, it's just operator error, isn't it? There we go. Raise it up. Lining up, like all of these types of things, is crucial. Now I suppose the argument could be held that, well, if you're going to do this, why aren't you just going around with the bale collector doing the same thing? It's a valid point. Oh, seriously. Yeah, okay. Like I said, it was either going to be one of those things you do and think, that was brilliant, I'm so pleased I did that, or, like we're finding out, you do it and think, what was I thinking? But it doesn't hurt to revisit. There we go. Though now they're twisting the back. Why are they doing that? Yeah, that's horrible. Don't like it at all. That's horrendous. I'll bring it behind me. Is that going to do a better job of straightening them up? Nope. Come on, just straighten up a little bit. Those two have gone right. Come on. It's one bale. Come on. Drop it. Right, well, I'll be moving on to plan B with this then. That's going to be awful. Don't like that at all. What's he doing now? I'm not even doing anything. And then it tidies up. Serious. I may move on to plan B. I may persevere with this. But if I'm going to persevere with this, I'm going to persevere off screen. I think it's probably the best way of doing this one. Let's drop that down again. Take that one in. Lift up. Maybe it's not so bad. What an individual one this time. Not a double. That would be bad form. So yeah, like I say, persevere with this potentially. If it doesn't work, what we'll do at the start of the next episode, you'll see what I ended up choosing instead. That's not straight. That's not going to work. Yeah, this is too much mucking around in it. You want something that's more straightforward and easy. Something, you know, an auto load trailer is all well and good, but I want to do some manual loading. This I thought would be the stopgap, but right. So that now, in theory, is where I want it to be. So what should happen now is I drop that down, open up the tailgate. No, open up the tailgate. Come on. Find where you need to be. Oh, seriously. One bale that's decided I'm going to ruin it for everyone. There's always one. Come on. Sort yourself out. No. So I think we know where this is going to be heading, don't we? we're going to be looking for an alternative solution. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I didn't want to just show me just wrapping bales. I was hoping this was going to really work, but clearly not. On the next one, harvesting, getting some of these bales loaded up. I will still be picking up odd contracts left, right. As you saw, Field 34 is now done, and there are a couple of others available for fertilising. Quick and easy jobs to make a bit of extra money, and I need to build it back up again, because what I need to buy next is going to be about 700,000, which I don't have at the moment. So, plus I want to buy a wheel loader and all sorts of other stuff, so you know, we'll see how it goes. If you have enjoyed it, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.